everybody. I'm here. Hello. You're here. We're all here. Thanks for your patience. I know I'm starting a couple minutes later than usual. It is very bright outside, and despite my best intentions, I have not figured out the whole way to properly use a drill and install curtains. And I love the sunlight. So we're just gonna do the best that we can with the bodies and the space that we have today. We're gonna officially get started in 1 minute, and we're gonna get started laying down on our backs. I'm just gonna make sure you can see everything. I'm gonna turn down the volume on my computer. If you wanna spray some aromatherapy, change up the lights, maybe get some sunlight in your situation. Create a space for yourself where you can feel relaxed. All right, I already have my t-shirt tucked into my pants like a real winner. I think part of the reason I started wearing yoga pants was so that I would never have to tuck my t-shirt in. I think it looks really uncool. I'm like standing over here looking at myself at the computer. I dare you to send me your coolest photo or your dorkiest photo with your shirts tucked into your yoga pants. All right, just want to make sure you can see as best as possible if needed. And then for modesty, I feel like my back's to you. Okay, I'll face this direction. No. Hi. It's almost been a year. It's me, Jessica. Here we are, shooting from home. Finding a new direction to create the feed from because it's real bright outside. I'm the Health Fitness Program Manager out in McLean, and I'm really looking forward to guiding you through today's mind-body connection. We're going to get started down on the floor, so if you aren't already down there, take your time, make your way down there. If on your way down you find yourself coming into some sort of a stretch that just feels so good that you have to hang out there for a couple of seconds or breaths, do it, and then when you're ready, release yourself all the way down to the mat. Relax your heels down towards the floor. Give y'all a couple seconds to get there, to find a way to really relax while you're here. Maybe you're going to relax your arms down by your side, or maybe you really want to get a little bit more grounding with yourself, placing one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly, because the next thing you're going to do is just shake out any tension that you have in your lower back and your glutes. Relax those shoulders and shoulder blades into the mat as much as possible. Make any adjustments. Oh, I was like, what's happening? But I forgot that I already tucked my shirt into my pants like a total winner. Okay. Sorry about that. So just relax on the floor as much as possible. Really release your lower back down into the mat as much as you possibly can. Make sure that you're not stretching your chin up towards the ceiling as you start to quiet your breath. Once again, draw your lower belly in, so belly button back towards your spine, and press your sacrum, your tailbone, the end of that back down on the mat. Really eliminate as much of that lift as you can. Still finding as much room as possible in your diaphragm as you breathe. Let's take 3 more breaths right here. Relax your shoulders, relax your chest. Relax your jaw, relax your glutes. One more big inhale. Relax your mind and release any expectations that you have. Just do the best that you can with the body that you have today. Keeping that lower belly drawn in, we're going to slowly just walk our feet out one step at a time as far as feels comfortable or right for you, while still keeping your lower back glued on the mat. So as you get closer to the end of the mat, you might need to press your heels into the mat instead of bringing the balls of the feet in. You can even wiggle your feet gently, one and then the other, to really focus on keeping that lower back glued into the mat and just starting to find some engagement through your lower abdominals. Take your time. You can press your arms into the floor as much as you need to find a little bit more stability if that helps. Continue to stay focused on your breath and that engagement with the floor. Let's go ahead and do one more out, one more in. And then when you get back in, go ahead, plant those feet firmly down on the floor. Keep your feet about hips width distance apart. Oh my gosh, I did not think about Uncle Buck. It was a little scary. If your dog also just jumped right above you, I want you to take that tension out of your shoulders. Feel free to close your eyes. Know that maybe they're going to come down soon and it's going to be okay. All right, so we're still working on firmly planting our feet into the floor, really focusing on that engagement happening in your abdominal core. We're going to go for 5 glute bridges right here. So open up your chest, press the back of the arms into the floor. Use your inhale to lift up. Everything lifts at the same time. And exhale, slowly lower down. Your glutes will almost touch the floor. Change your breath. Inhale up. Make sure you're still equally pressing through all 4 corners of the feet. Exhale down. Keeping this nice and slow, just working to engage. Inhale up. Shoulders and shoulder blades are staying on the floor. Last 2. Knees in line with hips. Make sure your knees aren't coming out or in, so maybe you need to limit the range of motion just to really stay in control. Let's do one more. We're going to stay lifted at the top. Awesome. Relax those shoulders again. Really press your feet into the floor. Squeeze your glutes. Keep your hips lifted. You don't have to do anything else but stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, inhale, lift it up, 1, and exhale, slowly lower yourself down. Once again, glue your lower back down towards the mat. Even feel your glutes touch down towards the floor, and then draw one leg up at a time. Make sure as you draw your legs up for a version of knees to chest pose, that you didn't draw your knees so far in towards your chest that your glutes and your lower back lifted off the floor. Perhaps you even need to take a hold right here at the back of your legs. From here, we're just going to give ourselves a little massage, starting really gently. Just rock those legs from side to side. Take a moment to notice what's happening with your rib cage also as you press your lower back into the floor. Do you find that as you press your lower back into the floor, maybe your chest kind of encourages the action for it to happen, that your rib cage splays open and you feel a little bit more of an arch happening with that upper back? If so, I know that that's something that happens for me a lot. I want you to think about, with your rib cage open, of knitting that rib cage together, and notice how taking that knit of that rib cage together really tightens your abs a little bit more and glues that lower back down on the floor. Awesome. Go ahead, bring your heels together. We're going to gently release those feet back down towards the mat. To take a moment here in recline bound angle, bring the heels as close to the center line of your body as feels comfortable for you. Maybe you prefer to have your heels a little bit further away. Still try to focus on keeping that lower back on the floor. Just depending on how tight your hips are, you might feel a little bit of arching right here. We'll take 3 more breaths. Excellent. Go ahead, extend your arms out to the side in a T or in some goalpost arms, whatever you can do with the space that you have, and pick one side. We're going to roll over to one side. You might even need to press into your feet to roll over onto your hip to enjoy as gentle or as deep of a spine twist as feels right for your body today. So starting with those knees bent, you can increase the stretch just a little bit by looking in the opposite direction of your legs. If you want to increase the stretch even more through that lower body, if you find some good stability in that upper body with those shoulders on the floor or just as still as possible, you can always extend your lower leg, press through that heel, draw that bent upper knee a little bit higher, maybe even apply some pressure with your hand on the outside of your thigh. Take the tension out of your glutes. Find what feels good. Keep some engagement of that abdominal core though. 2 more breaths right here. If you separated your legs, go ahead and bend both of your knees. Bring them back together. Take some time to roll over onto your back. Press into your feet. Lift those hips up. Teeny little glute bridge as you roll over towards the opposite hip. And once again, come into a spine twist. Just as deep as feels right for you on this side of your body, respecting that both sides of the body are different. Know that if you want a little bit more of a stretch, you can turn and look away from your bent knees. Still keeping that lower belly drawn in if you want to extend through your lower leg and cross through the top leg. I know sometimes these stretches can feel really good. I think one of the biggest challenges that you can bring to yourself in yoga is if someone walked by, if you happen to be practicing in a room where other people are, what is your face saying right now? Do you have a wince on your face from the stretch? Is the stretch so deep you're pursing your jaw or squeezing your eyes or eyebrows? I get it. These stretches can be good. Go ahead, bend your knees, start to roll back over onto your back. But ask yourself as you come into these big stretches if you can relax your face and your mind as much as you are trying to relax the rest of your body. We were gonna roll over. So actually, you can either roll yourself up like a ball or come back into that spine twist. And let's go ahead and press ourselves up into tabletop. Oh, I got so distracted just talking about whatever, as my Aunt B used to say. Okay, put your hands palms right underneath of your chest and stack your hips the best that you can on top of your knees. Go ahead, press the tops of your feet into the floor, press into your hands palms. Take a moment, draw your belly in, and just be the most gorgeous tabletop that you can be. Start to find a little bit of length through the crown of your head. Beautiful. One more big inhale. And on your exhale, tuck your chin towards your chest. Look towards your knees, towards your belly button. Come into cat. Maybe you want to shift your weight a little bit forward and back. Find where this stretch feels best for you. Don't just hang out in tabletop and cat and then pass through cow. You're missing through so many amazing opportunities to find a little bit more of a stretch to see what your body needs today. So start small as you change through, maybe with just a little wiggle of your hips, maybe finding just a little shimmy of your shoulders. Maybe it's about making some movement, some gentle half circles with your neck. Shaking your head yes or no, and just knowing that whatever feels right is cool. Go for it. Maybe you want to press yourself a little more into tabletop. Maybe your wrists are really tired and you've been at a class before where we did some of these great wrist warm-ups and you want to turn onto the back of your hands palms. Just take some time right here in this little cat-cow moment to find what feels good for you. To get a little weird, to put a smile on your face. Ooh. Movement is amazing. All right, go ahead, cross your ankles behind you. I'm just gonna walk myself up. You don't have to move yourself anywhere. And we're just gonna sit our glutes back so that we find ourselves in Sukhasana, an easy pose. If this is too tight of an easy pose for you, feel free to open those legs a little bit wider. Find what feels good for you. Maybe you switch which leg you have or had on top. Find those sit bones on the floor. Find some length through the crown of your head. Allow your elbows to hang heavy down towards the floor. Find some length once more. Inhale, stretch up from the waist, not just the shoulders, belly drawn in. And exhale, go ahead, tuck your chin down towards your chest. Squeeze those shoulder blades together so chest is open, but knit that rib cage together, so take that extra arch out of your back. Keep that rib cage knit, your belly drawn in, shoulders down as you inhale, look up. Exhale, look down. Inhale, look up. Exhale, look down. We're just going to take 2 more breaths right here. Work to keep that rib cage knit. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale, lift your head back up to neutral. Take a moment, shake those shoulders out. Oh wow, make some circles with those shoulders. Enjoy the stretch. That's why you're here, to feel it in your body. So bring that smile to your face as you feel it. Just sway gently side to side. Start to bring that stretch into your lower back. Let's go ahead, take some circles right here. Keep those sit bones ground on the floor. So just find as much movement as you can with your sit bones on the floor. Maybe it's a little bit more just through the shoulders right here. Maybe you're able to get a little bit more of your torso involved. Make sure you're still breathing. We'll go around about 2 more times. Think of this like cat-cow while seated. All right, let's go ahead and change those directions. You can have your hands on your knees and really apply some pressure of your hands into your knees to help find that stability as you move yourself around. Work into your amazing lower back. The last 2 times. Oh, this feels so great. I hope you're saying the same thing at home. All right, come on back to that lifted position. So get your sit bones into the floor, draw your belly in, pull that rib cage together, get that extra arch out of your back, relax your shoulders away from your ears, relax your fingers down towards the floor. We'll use our next breath to inhale, lift your fingers up towards the ceiling. Bring your palms in towards each other. We're going to relax and release right hand fingers down towards the floor. Really use a big exhale to reach over to the right side of the body with your left hand. Inhale, lift yourself up. Lift that right hand up. Exhale, left hand comes down. Reach over to the left side of the body. What's happening with your chest? Where is it facing? Inhale, lift yourself up. This time as we reach over to the side, really do your best to keep those shoulders stacked. Maybe even opening up towards the ceiling instead of collapsing down towards the floor. Inhale back in through center. Very nice. Let's go one more time to each side. Just keeping these stretches as simple as possible today. Awesome. Lift yourself up. Let's take a change in our legs. Go ahead, extend your legs out in front of you as wide as feels comfortable. Start with your fingers right behind your back. Find that opening of your chest. Maybe even walk your hands back. Exaggerate it. Take the opportunity to open that rib cage. Maybe even shift the weight through your glutes. Recognize that you're taking that big opening of your chest and then walk it back in. And pull that rib cage back together. Really find that strength in your abdominal core and some length through the crown of your head. All right, shoulders relaxed by your side. If you're already feeling a nice stretch through your legs, especially if you can keep those toes stretched up towards the ceiling, you can keep your hands right here behind you. Just work to find your breath, to take as much relaxation here as possible. Maybe even bringing your chin down towards your chest, which can help you to feel, help some people to feel a little relaxed. I like to think that looking forward helps us to feel a little better though, because when you're looking down towards the floor, that's the same place that we look when you're feeling sad or when you're doubting yourself or you're looking into the nothingness down into the floor. But when you're feeling proud of yourself, when you're doing a Superman stance or just a hero pose, your chest is open and lifted and your chin is up. So go ahead and bring your chin up if you can. Just even if your eyes are closed, as if you're standing proud for yourself in a photo of just how amazing you are for creating time and space for movement and energy today. If you want a little bit more of a stretch, you can walk your hands forward. Still keep that belly pulled in. Cool. Go ahead, lift yourself up. Let's draw those legs in for a little bit of stump. So walk your heels in as close as possible, and you can use your elbows to grab hold of your knees and then relax those shoulders away from your ears. If that's too much for you, bring your legs a little further apart. Maybe you don't bring your hands palms together. Starting to get a nice little hip opener right here. Finding a little warm up before we're going to do a squat. But we're gonna, oh my God, I'm just gonna turn to the side because I feel like this is a very odd way to face the camera. All right, but I'm doing my best to really bring that belly to the thighs, to take the rounding out of the lower back. So maybe you just have a tiny bend in your knees as you pull yourself forward. But be honest with yourself. Ask yourself, how close can you get those heels in to the center line of the body? Can you use your elbows as a little hook around those knees? Can you interlace your hands? Maybe you want to try this later with the prop because I didn't tell you to bring any. It's cool. Take 2 more breaths here. Keep those shoulders relaxed as much as you can. Keep that lower back lifted and straight. And on your exhale, gently start to walk those legs out in front of you. Walk your glutes behind you to find a little forward hinge, and then feel free to bob your knees to shake that lower back out. Flex your toes back towards your face. All right, from here we're gonna hinge forward, bringing our belly to the thighs. If your hamstrings are too tight, you can take a bend of your knees here and really bring your belly to your thighs again. Work to keep your legs in nice and close. So we're simulating a forward fold. So it's okay if you have to have a real generous bend in your knee for your forward fold. Better to have a generous bend in your knee so you can have a flat, supported back with your engaged core than to find a lot of rounding and tightness here and not get the support from your belly. Change. Awesome. Lift yourself up. Next, we're going to come into that squat. I'll turn sideways again for modesty. All right. If you're really struggling with the squat, if you know that it's not for you, I'll let you know when we're halfway. You can always just go for a little bit of a tabletop hip opener with your palm right in line with your sole of the foot and your knee in line with your shoulder. Otherwise, turn your feet to a 45-degree angle and slowly release yourself down towards the floor. You can always shift your weight right and left and just work on getting your heels down in towards the floor. Or maybe you can find that stillness and press your elbows towards your inner thighs. Really work to apply some pressure equally through the feet. So not just, I feel like so not just towards the inner soles. See if you can lift up your chest. We'll take 3 more breaths here. Oh yeah, and if you need to switch sides and we'll go a little longer. Jessica. If you are in this deep squat, maybe you can release your glutes a little further towards the floor. Now we'll take 3 more breaths. All right, if you want to release your hands towards the floor after that third exhale and lift yourself up, being in a very wide open tabletop or down dog is another modification if a forward fold is not working for you. If you're having trouble finding that flat back, having your hands wide and further in front of you can be a help. Otherwise, you're going to heel toe your feet in a little bit closer together, about hips width distance apart, or even touching each other. Shift the weight into your heels, take a generous bend of your knees as you need to, and then work to glue your upper body to your lower body. You don't have to have your hands down on the floor. Maybe you choose to use your hands as a prop to help you work to bring your chest closer towards your knees. Maybe you want to place your hands under your feet and find a little bit of pressure of stepping on your hands' palms. Perhaps you would like to grab hold of your opposite elbow. However you found yourself relaxing and releasing down towards the floor, take a moment to draw your shoulders away from your ears. Find a little bit more length through the crown of your head, down your spine. Take 3 more breaths right here. Bless you, Uncle Bob. Bless you. Bless you. All right, shift the weight back to your heels. Slowly, gently roll it up. 1 vertebrae at a time with the weight in your heels. As you lift yourself, go ahead, inhale those arms up overhead. Squeeze your glute, hips come forward. Exhale, open your arms. We're going to swan dive or forward fold down towards the floor. Inhale, come up into a half lift, so weight in your heels. Find some length through your spine. Stretch your glutes towards the back of the room. Exhale, back down to your forward folds. One more time, let's roll it up 1 vertebrae at a time so you can take a generous squat. If you need to really shift the weight into your heels as slow as you can. With your breath, roll it up, reach up overhead, and then exhale. Take the whole length of the exhale to find your movement. Inhale up into your half lift. Flat back. And then exhale once more down into your forward fold. Go ahead, bend one knee and then the other. Get some movement through your hips. All right, take your time, walk yourself out into a plank. Go ahead, shift the weight forward. Get your hands, palms right under your shoulders, and then bring your knees to the floor. You can bring your toes together, separate your knees as much as you want to as you send your hips back towards your heels and bring your head down towards the floor to come into child's pose. Take a moment here to really relax your tired shoulders. So draw your fingers like they're moving through sand all the way to the back of your mat, palms facing up towards the ceiling. Open up your shoulders, allow your biceps, your triceps to come a little closer towards the mat. Really feel that back open and focus on your breath coming to your back. On your inhale, your rib cage expands, and on your exhale, it contracts. Great work. Go ahead, bring your hands, palms back underneath of your shoulders. Press yourself up. Come into this kneeling, seated position. Take a couple more breaths right here. Find some stillness in your kneeling. You either have your toes, your big toes coming towards each other. Maybe there's like a bowl that you created with your feet. Just make sure that the arches of your feet aren't pressed down towards the floor. Your toes are either pointing directly behind you or creating that beautiful bowl. Knit that rib cage together one more time. If you have any questions or concerns about anything that we did today, I hope that you all will reach out. Thank you so much for coming, for making this time for yourself, and thank yourself for coming as well. Till you see me again, I hope you will continue to think good thoughts and eat good foods and speak good words and do good deeds and all the things that help to nourish us from the inside out. Gently flutter those eyes open. Bring a smile to your face once more. Bring your hands, palms to the center of your chest. And know that the light within me honors and sees the light within you. Lift your beautiful face up to the sun. Find one more stretch through your shoulders. Get all that energy as you open your heart center once more. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Namaste.